One of the most important religious events of American history was the Second Great Awakening. It took place in the first half of the 19th century and began in the burnt-over district of Western New York. It was led by a man by the name of Charles Grandison Finney. Finney preached about eliminating sin and coming about to a time of perfectionism, which is when you get rid of all of the evils of society. Well, you could see how this movement would impact things that people would find to be evils of society, such as slavery. The beginnings of the abolitionist movement can be found at this time. In addition, people were seeking education for young children. A man by the name of Horace Mann said that all of the states should provide education for the children. This would improve society for many reasons. In addition, women began to seek rights at this time. In 1848, you have the Seneca Falls Convention, which takes place in upstate New York, where Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton adopted a Declaration of Sentiments. They took apart the Declaration of Independence and said that all men and women should be created equal. In addition, women, among others, preached temperance. They wanted to get rid of alcohol because it was causing crime and other problems in society. In addition, women such as Dorothea Dix looked to improve prisons as well as insane asylums. There was a lot of bad treatment of patients and inmates that were going on at this time. Also, you have utopian societies. These were groups that went to certain places such as Brook Farm, New Harmony, and Oneida, and they were seeking to find utopias within themselves. Other religious groups gained popularity at this time, including the Shakers and the Mormons. The Mormons were led at first by Joseph Smith and then later by Brigham Young and went all the way out to Utah to gain religious freedom. In addition to religion, you also have a philosophical movement known as Transcendentalism at this time. You have Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson, among others, preaching inner self as well as a love for nature and introspective reflection. At this time, religion was truly an important part of everyday life and something that we could see impacting American history to follow. During this time in the early 19th century, you have a lot of change going on economically known as the market revolution. National roads are being built as well as turnpikes, which are pay roads. The Erie Canal opened up in upstate New York, which would link the Great Lakes in the west to the Atlantic Ocean all the way in the east. Now you can travel from Europe, get your goods on a boat, and take it all the way to the west. This would open up cities such as Chicago. Meanwhile, a man by the name of Samuel Slater brought the idea of factories to the United States. His factory system inspired Lowell, Massachusetts, which would have more spindles in it than the entire South combined. Working there in the 1830s, you have these people called mill girls. These were women who were unmarried who would work in Massachusetts until they would later be replaced by Irish immigrants. Also during the market revolution, you have the interchangeable parts idea brought to us by Eli Whitney. Whitney, who of course also invented the cotton gin, found a way to take a firearm and break it apart into parts. This way, if a part was damaged, you replace the part and not the entire firearm. But it would be Whitney's cotton gin that everybody would remember because it would remove the seed from the cotton. One would think that the machine would lead to less slaves being needed. However, it increased slavery immeasurably in the South and also made cotton king for Southern exports. Also during this time period, to get cotton over to Europe, you have Robert Fulton's steamboats, and within the country, transportation changed immeasurably because of the railroad system. All of that took place during the market revolution. As time went by, it seemed obvious that the North was becoming more industrial than the South. Lowell, Massachusetts had all the textiles. Meanwhile, the cotton would come out of the South. The South would continue this plantation economy up until the Civil War and even after. Meanwhile, the North would see during the Gilded Age more of the structures such as skyscrapers and bridges, as well as bustling cities with a large number of immigrants coming over.